Hi, welcome to the recording of the iOS workshop. This is a workshop that we hold twice a week via Zoom in New Mexico. And in this recording, we're going over a basic setup of ARKit. We're going to set up a scene view, make the connections, and set up some buttons. This is a pretty simple setup. Manually, you don't have to do this manually, just so you know, but this will show you how to do it from scratch, or this is also helpful if you're adding ARKit to an existing Xcode project. Okay, well, let's get started.
I'm just going to be watching because I'm kind of working as well, and I just like to see everybody and hear about this stuff.
The simulator.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, let me know if things are out of the screen then. I'm assuming you can see the Xcode now, and then when I do this, you're seeing the simulator. Okay.
And I'm seeing the simulator.
So what I'm going to do, let me show you. Let me run it, and that way you'll see what I'm going to build from scratch, and that way you can see what the end result is.
Cool.
But what I did is I set up the scene kit with the views so that I can run it on the device and look around the room and position a cube somewhere in the scene. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to create a cube, add a light source so that you get the reflection of the, it looks more realistic. And we'll play around with different things. And I'm learning this as you know, I'm new to ARKit as well. So this will be a learning experience for all of us. Okay, so what I did is I think you should see it now. Right now, I've loaded in a debug mode so you can see what the system is trying to understand of the scene. So here's the first view of it. And I made two little buttons on here. One that lets me position an object. If I hit that, it should position an object somewhere. There it is. And then I made another button that'll just remove the object. So I can hit that and it goes away. So that's pretty simple, but it's pretty cool that a lot of this, like you can see here, it's trying to figure out the scene right here. And all of these little dots that you're seeing happening are out of the box. This is just in debug mode. So this lets us later go ahead and identify what a table is and where the plane is. Now it's gonna have trouble with my desk because you can tell it's glass and it's not yeah, I always me, I always like to try to make things break or difficult. So that's it. I'm going to stop it, and then we're going to go ahead and start from scratch. And so close the project, and we'll do a new project. So I'm going to create a new project in Swift. I'm not going to use Swift UI for this particular version. I had trouble with it, so I'm going to go back to the very basics, and we're going to do this in a storyboard. And so these are the components. Are you able to see the AR view, the scene, and the anchor? So here we are. This is where we're going to look at how the code is structured and how Apple has organized this. Essentially, the root is the augmented reality view that then contains the scene that then contains anchors to all the different entities that are part of this. So, so we're going to create a single view app, and I'm just going to call it Hello ARC Workshop or something. There we go. And it's going to be Swift, and we are going to use a storyboard. Later on, maybe another workshop, we will work with this in Swift UI, but for today, we're gonna play in the storyboard. And, wait for that to go, and we'll create the Git repository. I set 1,000 of those on my computer. I can't see Pat anymore. Is she still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, great. You just cameras. Okay.
Yeah, I just turned it off so I can look closely at the screen. Sometimes I use my magnifying glass.
Yeah. I'm going to move Xcode up a little bit and up to the left. Are you able to see it okay, the whole screen?
I can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's go right into the storyboard and start, seeing what we need to do. So this is really pretty cool because you're adding an AR framework to an app in literally, you're going to see, I'm going to just drop in a component, add constraints to it, connect it to the code, add some initializers, and then pretty much we're able to look at a scene in debug mode without like two lines of code basically. It's pretty amazing. So here's the view controller. I'm going to go ahead and add an AR. I'll start typing here, and it should come up with I want to do what I'm looking for here, and I want an ARKit scene kit view. So that's came right up as the first thing that on my list right here. So I'm going to drag this over here and drop it like so. And what ended up being added to my view in the view controller is an ARSCNView. They just shortened that like that. So now I'm going to simply go ahead and just make it take up the whole screen. And to do that, let me actually go and do it first this way, and then I'll add the constraints. And I'm going to go take the whole screen like this. Oops. That. Okay. And we'll just pin it. 2, 3, and 4. And we have our constraints in, and we are good. And so now, next thing to do is to open up the assistant editor, and we'll just connect this to the code. And if you anybody here got into the issue where you're like, wait, what happened? Because remember the assistant editor had the 2 circles. It was like a button on this on Xcode. Well, recently they took it out, and now they made it a little harder to find. You have to go here to this editor right here and select assistant like that. And now we get the code side by side. And I'm going to close this here. I got my screen's too busy here. Let's resize things. Do that. Are you able to see the far right of the screen, the code?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, I'm going to move it this way. And okay, so let's just go ahead and connect this to the class. Oops, like this. And we're going to control drag, and we're going to call this scene, whatever we want. View, and I think it's okay to leave it as a weak connection. And so here we are now, we've made the connection to the code. And of course, let me cancel that. We got to import ARKit. ARKit, and that should go away. Just a warning about not recognizing that. And then we have to set up everything so that it'll start tracking the world. Now we can actually run this, and it'll just show, if I hit run, it's just going to show an image, right? It's not going to do anything. And so we have to enable the tracking and object tracking and debug mode. So that's what I'm going to do next. So let's go into the scene view here. So to let it track things in the world, I'm just going to create a variable called configuration equals, and then it's going to be basically an AR world tracking configuration function that gets called. So this initializes the world tracking. So that's going to set up an XYZ coordinate. And when the phone initializes, it's going to know, it's going to start tracking from that point, wherever the phone was. I shouldn't call it a phone. Anyway, right where it is when you pick it up and start moving it around, it's going to sense, it's going to keep track of everything, all the motion that's happening and all the changes that are going on around it. So we've got that. We load the view.load, and inside now view.load, we can actually go ahead and set the scene up. So I'm going to let me move this a little bit this way. Actually, I don't need to be in this mode anymore. Let me just do that. That might make it easier to read. So let's turn on the debug options. And so we have our scene view object. I'm going to call that, I'm going to bring that in here and turn on the debug options. So just type in debug and options. And we're going to give it an array of options. Let's see. The two that I've played with so far that I like are showing the origin, which is really handy. It shows you the XYZ of where you're starting out. And then the feature points, it's trying to figure out what things are that it sees. So I'm going to turn both of those on. That way you'll have little dots as it's trying to identify objects, and then it's got the XYZ from wherever we initialize the app. And so those are augmented reality, SCN. These are debug options like this. And I'm going to do dot show. How about we show the wireframe? There we go. Let's see what else we're going to do. Probably would be good to see maybe. Oh, you know what I wanted to look at is the world up. Let's do the world origin. Yeah. Instead of that, that's the one I wanted to look at. Show world origin. That's it. So that'll show us the XYZ. And let's just start with that right now, and we'll take it from there. And then as we have that, the last thing to do is to really start running. So let's do scene view again. And this time we're going to do session. Oops. And then we're going to do run. And then we're going to give it the configuration that we declared earlier. Okay. Let's see. Cool. Well, let's see what we have. Let's see if this will run and what it looked like. I've imported my ARKit. I've declared my configuration, world tracking configuration, and I've turned on the debug options and told the system to, start running. So let's see if that will run. Let's see what that's going to look like. Don't judge me for my TikTok use. It's, you got to do what you got to do to survive during the corona.
Yep.
It's a pretty funny thing.
I
TikTok.
think Jeff joined us.
Oh, great.
Jeff, I think you're muted.
Oh, am I muted?
No, Jeff is.
Oh, okay. Ooh, something crashed right away. Looks like it crashed. What did I do? Oh, of course. The plist entry. This is a by choice crash. Apple is forcing apps to crash that do not ask for permission to use the camera first.
Oh.
And so I'm glad this happened, because this happens every single, it's like every single time I want to use the camera, it crashes. So yeah, so what we have to do is we have to go into the plist and add in an entry that requests the camera and put in the text that we're going to tell the user, what we're requesting the camera for. And so I'm just going to go into here, into info.plist, and I'm going to add an entry, hit plus right here, the code itself. Let me go in and source, view source here. Let me go in. Open as source code. Where is it? Camera usage? Yeah, let's try that. I'm just going to do it this way here. What's strange is I didn't have to do this last time, and I'm not sure what I did, what the difference is this time around. Okay, well this time it is requesting, so that did it. I don't know why I had to do it, edit the XML, but I'm going to give the system the camera access. So okay, now you see this. I can look at my device. It's starting up with the XYZ axis right in there already. So there they are. The red is on the let's see, that's the horizontal. Blue is the depth, looks like. Yep, that's the z-axis. So here we are. This is I didn't even have to do anything. This gave me right now the scene controller, and it's initialized with the debug mode showing me my origin. So pretty cool, huh? So that concludes the ARKit basic scene setup. We did this the hard way, but that's good because we learned how to set up the scene, make the connections, and add buttons. When we do this in a different video, we'll be using the factory options, which lets us save some time and set up the connections and the scene kit and all of that right out of the box. But anyway, this is it. Our next video will be adding some basic shapes. I hope you like this video, and we'll see you on the next one.